we're going to get some first track driving impressions on the M2 CS. We're at Michelin's Proving Grounds. We've got a higher speed course out here. It's wet, it's cold, not the best conditions, but we're running a set of Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires, and we're doing a few lead follow laps with an instructor from the BMW M Performance Driving School. Car feels good. This is the first time we've really had an opportunity to push it in the wet today. Everything's that we're going to be driving in is going to be in the wet today. Unfortunately, no dry weather, so we can't explore the full grip of the M2 CS, but we'll be able to see what the limits are like at some lower speeds. Things I'm noticing initially, slightly better steering feel with the CS. BMW has gone through this car and tweaked a lot of tiny little things about the gearbox, the chassis, the rear differential, a lot of specific tuning for the M2 CS. Getting a little bit more feedback from the wheel here, which is a very welcome improvement. We've got about a 50 horsepower power bump, so making 523 horsepower now. 479 pound-feet of torque, I believe. Still an 8-speed automatic only option, no manual in the CS, as we've seen in some other CS models. Rear-wheel drive only, and this is about 100 pounds lighter than the standard M2. We got a few drive mode settings here. You guys see what those are on the screen. We are in track mode, so all of our collision assist, stuff like that, is turned off. Traction control is on. This 3-liter twin-turbo S58 sounds fantastic. No tweaks to the exhaust, but it feels like there's a little bit more volume in this cabin. Most of the weight savings is here with all the carbon fiber options. We've got the carbon fiber transmission tunnel, seats. Really the only options that you can spec this car with are color, tires, and carbon ceramic brakes or steel brakes. Starting price is just shy of 100 grand. There is enough steering feel here, though, to kind of suss out what's going on with the front end. I can feel when those tires are starting to slip and lose grip. We've got our gearbox in the second hardest shift setting. Sport mode for just about everything else except for steering, which is in comfort. Brakes are easy to modulate. Really nice pedal pressure on these carbon ceramics that we have today. Car's easy to adjust on and off throttle too. The M2 has always been a little bit more lively than the M3, but this latest generation was buttoned down significantly, especially compared to the previous M2. When the 1 Series M Coupe came out, I thought, oh man, this is a really, really fun car. You can feel that short wheelbase. BMW has started to tune a little bit of that out. The CS brings back some of that rotation and character to the platform. It's a little bit lower here. It has specific spring rates for the M2, and it sits about 0.3 inches lower than the standard M2. The CS has the same dampers as, I believe, the M3 CSL. It's even the same part number. And it has the transmission mounts from the M3 race car, the GTR or whatever it's called. That's kind of neat. Pretty good pace here with lead follow right below that limit. ABS is tuned well in the rain also. nice displays in this M2 CS with shifting and information on track. Noticing that my throttle tuning is a lot more linear in this M2 CS than what we had in the standard M2. I have a little bit more resolution to make fine adjustments with my pedal pressure and with what the engine is doing. Right now we're in sport mode, and it's not all just coming on at once, which is great. It's nice that we're doing lead follow in some of these situations. You can kind of see the car in front of us move around a little bit. Love a little bit of racing in the rain. Torque here is fantastic. And there's just a little bit more steering feel. Some of that could be a bit of placebo effect with this new wheel and the way it feels in hand, but there's definitely more lightness to the steering system. And I noticed on the street drive, there's a lot more road texture here. So some subtle improvements here with the M2 CS, in addition to just options. And less weight with the M2 is always a good thing. Front end is super sharp, very flat around a corner. There's a little bit more of an aggressive alignment here, specific to the M2 CS. You can see it statically just sitting there. It's a bit more negative camber, especially in the front. Less unsprung weight with these forged wheels. It's an easy car to drive. Doesn't seem to catch you out as much as the M3, but you still feel that short wheelbase. Heyo. We're gonna get a chance to drive this on an autocross course a little bit later today, turn everything off, and have a bit more sideways fun. The speeds on this course are just a little bit too high to turn everything off, and the conditions are, as you can see, sketchy. Still over 100 miles an hour through that section. This 8-speed is super smooth, not upsetting the balance of the car at all. And I get a good amount of communication through the chassis. If anything, the rain today is giving us a bit more of an idea of what this car is like to drive at the ragged edge, at the limit. Beyond just steering feel, I know what this is doing at the front end, at the rear end, just through what I can feel with what's going on with the body of the car. Some of that is enhanced with the short wheelbase nature of this M2. But I mean, really, you have to think, this is kind of the size of what M cars used to be. This is essentially the same size as the E46 M3. And I think the CS treatment that BMW has done here is just about right. And kind of, it drives exactly how I expected it to. I was hoping for better steering feel. I think BMW has delivered. It's not as sweet as the M5 CS with the previous generation, but it's not bad. It's a bit more lively, lighter weight. There's a kind of an effervescence to the way this car handles compared to the M3, M4. Even though it's only a couple 100 pounds lighter than it, it's not that much lighter. There's a lot of shared components between this and the M3, M4. Let's ramp up our gear change speed here. Yeah, mode 3 feels about right. This 8-speed auto can be a little bit lazy on downshift sometimes, and that feels the best on track. I've always appreciated how much you can play with the drive mode settings in BMWs. Sometimes no setting really feels right, that there's so much adjustability, but in the CS I've been pretty happy with the way everything is set up. The base setup in this car is really nice. It's a little bit sharper. Suspension feels a tad stiffer than the standard M2, but not by too much. We haven't gotten information on spring rates yet today, so if I get a chance, I'll include that info in a future video. But I don't think it's a huge change. This still is pretty compliant over bumps. You know that you're in something a little bit more aggressive, but it is not punishing. You can daily drive this easily. And we get rear seats, which is nice. All right, guys. Well, there's the M2 CS on track. Some first impressions there. Pushed a little bit harder than we did on our street drive. Thanks for joining us. That was fun. That was a good run. Given the conditions, that was about all we could do. We'll get some more track time in one of these in the dry. I'm excited to slide this around a little bit more in the wet. They have an autocross set up on this big section of blacktop, and I think we're just gonna have a bit of a free-for-all. Do some drifts, transition some corners, turn everything off, get it nice and sideways, and have a bit of fun. So excited for that video. Stay tuned for that one. Thank you so much for watching. That's been a track test in the M2 CS. Give you guys a quick look around this interior. The neat little CS logo right in the door. You can maybe see it flashing. Turn off all the ambient lighting, that'll disappear. Probably something you'd mostly see in the dark. But look at all the carbon fiber just everywhere in this interior. This is all standard, even the roof. Really cool stuff. .275 35 19s in the front, 285 30 R20s in the rear. So nice little staggered setup. Carbon ceramics on all four corners. I believe that's about an $8,500 option. And the ducktail spoiler here is super cool. Carbon rear diffuser, black exhaust tips, and of course you've got the red M2 CS badging. And this trunk is carbon fiber, and they let you know it because they don't paint over it. Fantastic. You can see the extra negative camber on the front, just that wheel tucked in a little bit farther into that front fender. Yeah, you can see some of the new grille elements here. So they've just opened everything up. You might want a bit of a mesh grille if you want to protect your lower radiator, but yeah, a bit more cooling. But ultimately the same bumper piece that you see in the regular M2, just tweaked a little bit. They've added this inner part. I think it looks better. And you add in this deformable front rubber splitter. I think between the front splitter and the rear ducktail, it adds another 60 pounds of downforce between the front and rear, split evenly at something like 155 miles an hour. So a little bit more downforce, nothing significant, but reduces some lift at speed. Top speed on this now is 188 miles an hour standard, instead of the, I believe, 155 that the standard M2 is limited to. So a lot of new standard equipment on the M2 CS, and just a more exclusive, special looking M2, which I think is what we all needed. All right, that's it for this one. Thanks so much for watching. See you guys in the next video.